Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark,
And I'm Rob.
and today we're going to talk about the refs in the WNBA and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do. If you like Caitlin Clark, subscribe to our channel. If you think she's not getting the calls she deserves in the WNBA, or did because the season's over, subscribe to our channel. If you like football, subscribe to our channel. So, Rob, it seemed obvious in the two playoff games that I saw that Caitlin Clark was not getting the calls. In the last game, there was two calls that should have been flagrant ones. They weren't even called as fouls by the same ref. She got two free throws in both playoff games. Against the Aces, she didn't seem to get the calls, and neither did Aaliyah Boston. Got 6 foul calls on her and none against A'ja Wilson, who basically were covering each other the whole game in the first matchup. So I can see a trend there. And Nafisa Collier, who I find quite likable, one of the few likable stars in the league, she got 14 free throws in both playoff games, 14 and 14. Clark got 2 and 2. Are you telling me that Caitlin Clark is getting the same whistles Nafisa Collier or A'ja Wilson gets? Who A'ja Wilson got free throws during the year, Rob? She got 275, while Caitlin Clark got 180 free throws during the year. Are you telling me Caitlin Clark's getting the same whistle as them?
Yeah, that special whistle that they were saying that she's getting the special whistle. I don't know. Maybe it's a dog whistle that we can't hear that somebody's blowing.
The silent whistle, Rob.
Yeah, it's a dog whistle. I didn't hear, but she definitely didn't. I mean, part of it, you can say that they would say that well, she doesn't drive to the basket that much, but even when she did drive to the basket, she still didn't get the calls.
She didn't even call when a person landed on her foot on a 3-point shot.
She didn't get a call when she got hip checked. She didn't get a call when she got hip checked. You already saw what was happening at the beginning of the year.
She doesn't call when she gets hit in the head. Okay, yeah. So it doesn't matter whether she drives the basket or doesn't drive. It doesn't matter. She doesn't get the calls. She gets clutched, grabbed, and hold all the time when she's dribbling and driving, and there's no foul calls. So those foul calls are things that someone like A'ja Wilson would not get nearly as much because she's not doing that type of dribbling and driving. And so I don't know what to say.
She does that, but when she drives like that and she's clutched and held, and then when she tries to get the person off her, that should be a foul on her, because what is she doing? How dare her try to get somebody off of her who's pressuring her and grabbing her?
Right. And this is more than just her being a rookie, too. This is the league trying to hold her down. I guess what is mind-boggling to me is that I can see some allegiance between the refs and the players who've been in the league for 5, 10, 15 years. But that strong of allegiance where they feel that they got to always give Caitlin Clark the short end of the stick on calls the entire season and even more in the playoffs. Like, why is there such a strong bond between the refs and the players? Their job is to be neutral and just go in there and call the games, not to have any allegiance towards players or connection with them in any way, shape, or form, regardless of what their race and sexuality is. And, I don't know how much of a difference it made to them what their race and sexuality was. I know that the initial calls against Caitlin Clark that weren't called flagrant fouls and stuff like that were all by black refs. But the 2 calls in the playoff game the other day was by this bald-headed white guy. Who missed both calls. Now, some people say he's on the take. That would not surprise me. Those calls were obvious. But the question that comes to me is, what is the commissioner doing about the fact that the refs are so bad? They're allowing too much physicality and missing so many calls, and there doesn't seem to be any repercussions to the refs or any statements made by the league about, we missed some calls here, we missed some calls there, we got to improve. Nothing. There's no statements from the commissioner, Rob. No reports, nothing.
They seem so proud of it, Mark. They seem like they're proud that they're not calling those calls. Like, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is great. They missed that call. Oh, they missed that flagrant call. Oh, okay, no problem. I mean, like a real quick story. So my dad refereed. I said 25 years, and he refereed in the City Catholic League in Rochester, mostly black schools. And he went to one of the black schools, mostly all black schools, and he reffed those games. And he was one of the few only. Actually, he was one of the few only black refs in the league in Rochester.
Even though it was a black league.
Yeah, he was one of the few black referees in the refereeing back then. But I mean, and some of the coaches were black, and you would think like, oh, I'm sure the black coaches are going, oh, cool, we finally got a brother out there who's going to give us a calls. And they were kind of upset with they were upset when my dad was like actually fair and called the game fairly. They're like, wait a minute, you're supposed to call your brother. You're supposed to be calling the game for us. And he said, no, I'm calling the game as I see it.
And here's what I wonder. What are they going to do about the fact that not only are the refs biased, but they're also unfair and incompetent? So even if they're not biased, they're just incompetent. They just blow easy calls. They can't even get a call right when they go to the monitor. They can't overturn obvious calls that should be overturned. So that tells me that the person, I guess in New York, who's doing the video for the monitor, that person is also incompetent. I know how it works. The refs get rated after every game. They get a grade. They have a grade. I'm sure they have a grade at the end of the year. And I'm sure, like in the NBA, I don't know the WNBA, because I don't think they do anything. In the NBA, the ones that have the weakest rating probably get laid off at the end of the year. That's what I'm assuming. It seems to make the most sense to me. What's the point of having a rating system if you never get rid of the weakest refs? Because they bring in new refs. So I don't know if they just get retired, but who knows? I don't know. But that's what I would do. I'd have a certain level of minimum competency for a ref, like a certain rating minimum. And if they didn't meet that minimum rating at the end of the year, I would fire them, and that'd be in the contract.
I mean, what they would do is evaluate a mark, and then maybe to try to improve, they would of course be dropped down, and then they would probably they do have reffing schools, and they do have reffing clinics, so they would send them to that reffing clinic, and go over to them like, hey, if you see the shot, the rule states that when the person shoots, they have to have a landing spot, and so they would go over that with them, that rule that they seem to miss. You know,
I was talking about the players in the NBA are supposed to be the best refs in the world. They should have already been through all that a lot, because supposedly from what I read, remember we had this article that they said they start with 5,000 people, they get down to this at 3,100. These are like the cream of the crop. So they should have had that already. So I guess in my mind, they've had their chance to learn all that. They just couldn't perform it on the court because it's not for everybody. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, it is. Referee's not for everybody.
I would say, okay, your rating system, whatever it is a certain minimum, and then you waive them. And the WNBA should be doing the same thing, and I doubt they are, because the refs are so bad. So they're not getting rid of the worst refs. They seem to whatever. They're just there. They got all this extra money from Caitlin Clark this year. So hire some more refs that pay more money, like men's basketball Division I. They get paid more from when I read the research that I did than the WNBA. And that, guess what? This is an off season for them. So go and approach the best refs in men's and even women's college basketball if they got high ratings for their as refs, and hire them and get rid of all the ones with low ratings in the WNBA. That's the easiest way to fix the problem, because they've already been trained, Rob. They supposedly go through this whole system several times, but I don't think they do that. I don't think they get rid of enough refs every year in the WNBA. Otherwise, the refs wouldn't be so bad. That's just my guess. I don't know what's going on. I know what I would do if I was commissioner. I would have raised the level of competency in terms of the rating and get rid of more and more refs every year until I increase the quality of my refs. And if I had to get them from men's basketball or whatever, I would.
Because as a commissioner, Mark, what's your first job as a commissioner? Player safety, right? And if these referees are not calling those fouls, you're not saving, you're not protecting the players who are making your league.
Oh, right. If I was a commissioner and I was the head of the refs, that's the two things. The two of them should get together and say this to all the refs. You got to call it tighter. We got to take the physicality of the league. That's the other thing I would do if I was the commissioner, in terms of trying to improve the quality of the officiating and improve the quality of the play in the league. But they don't seem to want to do that because she's been commissioner for 5 years and the physicality has not changed from what I can gather. So it seems ridiculous, and that's why the refs haven't improved. And it's a joke when people watch games. That's the first thing they say after they watch a game. The officiating was horrible. They say that like 90% of the time after they watch a
Yeah,
game.
and that's really sad. I mean, the ref should be. You shouldn't even like recognize you as a referee. Like I said, I've refereed also too, and you shouldn't even be. There's going to be calls.
There doesn't seem to be any repercussions. The commissioner never says anything about the refs. If I was doing this and I had an image problem with the refs, and I would have done this 5 years ago if I realized there was an image problem. Maybe they didn't realize it. They certainly do now. They realize it with the more attention and eyes on them. I would let them know what I was doing to improve the quality of the refs in my league. So in other words, I would do what I just said, and I would let people know this is what we're doing. We raised the level of grading they have to have. We fired more refs than we ever had before, or we laid off more refs, however you want to say it. We went and tried to get more quality refs, the highest quality refs from the men's basketball to see if they want to work on their off season. This is what we did to improve the quality. So I know you're criticizing our refs. Here's how we're trying to improve it. And that's called marketing, and that's called promotion. That's called having good PR for your league.
Doesn't the NFL do that after every game?
Well, they do. They do that in WNBA. They don't talk about the fact that they get rid of the refs at the end of the year. But they don't have an image problem like the WNBA. Yeah, we all criticize the refs in everything. League, baseball. Yeah. We all say they suck sometimes. But those are the best refs. So they don't have an image problem like they totally suck. WNBA, they have a huge image problem right now with the extra eyes on it and the fact that the refs are so bad. So you need to counter that with some action. And this is the action I would take. And it seems logical to me to make some more drastic action and then let the public know this is what we're doing to improve it.
Right.
I don't know. It just
because when we're watching a game and we're the public and we can see calls and we see what's happening, it's bad. I mean, and we're not even trained referees. We can see what's going on. I mean, it's not you're a knowledgeable basketball player, but you observe and you have eyes. You can see. It's like, how can they miss that? And they're right on the court. We're watching it on TV. They're right there. It's in front of them. How are they missing that?
And if I was the commissioner, if I was watching the constant calls that happen with Caitlin Clark, non-foul calls on her, and the fact that there seems to be a favoritism away from her, she's getting the short end of the stick all season long, I would talk to the refs about it. Yeah, I understand. You don't want to show favoritism to this golden child, and because people are going to be upset because she's the one. There's no way the commissioner can't see that. So, yeah, she doesn't have to tell the public that she said this to the refs. But if I was the commissioner, that's what I would do. Quit giving her the short end of the stick. Be fair with her.
Right.
And that's what I would say. It might not even be intentional. It might be for the reason I just gave them. Like, they don't want to be the ref that shows favoritism toward Caitlin Clark because, she's getting it because she's special. She's privileged. I get that. I get that concept. But they're going way overboard with this, Rob.
That's why I laugh when the Angel Reese whispered to the player, her co-player, the one that knocked her to the ground, like, "Oh, don't worry, she gets special calls." She gets special calls.
Doesn't seem to be on the short end of the stick. Right? She doesn't seem to be the short end of the sticks. We saw that she had quadruple dribbled. No one called it. When they won the game against the Fever, she kept getting calls against Alyssa Smith for some reason. She was going over her back. She was driving into Melissa Smith, just put her arms up. She got called for fouls. So she got favoritism. I can see.
On rebounds, she does that, clutching, pushing. She
goes over the back all the time. It doesn't get called for it. That's one of the reasons she's an effective rebounder, but it's still not legal.
Yeah.
She still wouldn't be as effective if people called it. So tell me why this one rookie, Angel Reese, doesn't seem to get the short end of the stick on calls, but Caitlin Clark does. Okay. And I understand the rookie star stuff and all that stuff. That's only be a small factor. There's something else going on here, and it's wrong, and the commissioner has to correct it. Caitlin Clark's going to be in the league, and she's going to be the most popular player in the league probably for the next 15 years. Yeah. So you got to do something, and it's got to be fair. You want it to be fair so that people don't say, "Geez, I'm not even going to watch the league anymore." If you're going to treat her like crap,
right? Exactly.
Basically cheating.
I mean, they don't want. Well, they don't want. They complain. They don't want the Clark fans. Like, okay, fine. You don't want the Clark fans. We'll see. in the playoff. Now they're not in the playoffs. We'll see how the ratings and who's going to be watching the games. We'll see.
Good segue, Rob. We're going to do a video on that next. All right. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so with the notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next videos. If you think Caitlin Clark's getting screwed over by the refs, subscribe to our channel. If you don't think she's getting screwed over by the refs, subscribe to our channel. If you like football, subscribe to our channel. I gave you enough reason. Just subscribe. Anyways, we're going to go live for the Buffalo-Baltimore game Sunday night. I think it's at 8:20. So join us for that. And our normal live show is every Monday except for major holidays, 6 to 8 Eastern time. Join us for that. You can call in for that. And that's pretty cool. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats and super thanks down below. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.